There's something uniquely tricky about making a good ultraviolent action comedy. These columns of films try to land somewhere between ridiculous and riveting, cartoonish yet cool. Fight or Flight takes a bold swing at that balance, aiming for high-octane chaos with a wink to the audience, but doesn't actually land the punch. Let's start with the setup. Fight or Flight is exactly what it sounds like, a chaos-fueled bloodbath on board a plane filled to the brim with assassins and a few confused civilians just trying to survive. It's trying very hard to wear its inspirations on its sleeve. Bullet Train, John Wick, maybe even Airplane, if Airplane was soaked in blood and dropped into a conspiracy theory. There's no hiding what it wants to be. A parody, a homage, a mashup, and maybe all of the above, but now in theory, that kind of concept sounds like it should be a blast, but the result is a mixed bag. The action delivers exactly what's expected: stylized violence, over-the-top fight sequences, and exaggerated carnage. Clear attempt to keep it entertaining, absurd, and occasionally surprising. If the film stayed locked in that gear, it might have been something special. Unfortunately, that's not the full picture. Because here's where things start to stall. The story. It's flat, not just predictable, but weightless. The villains seem like they've been reading off cue cards written by AI trained on generic bad guy monologues. They don't chew the scenery, they stand in it and talk a lot. And where the film teases camp early on, that tone vanishes fast, replaced by painfully long stretches of bland exposition and empty conversation. And when a movie sets itself on a literal pressure cooker of a setting, a plane mid-flight filled with killers, you'd think urgency would be baked in, but instead things drag. It says if every assassin on board drew a number and is patiently waiting their turn to strike. The logic takes a vacation, the pacing follows close behind. There's a odd rhythm at play here. Explosive bursts of violence interrupted by snooze-inducing dialogue. Characters talk in circles trying to explain what we already figured out, and scenes linger longer than they need to, and that energy, that opening promises, that sort of fizzles out in the mid-third. At an hour and 45 minutes, the movie overstays its welcome by 20 minutes. But credit where it's due. This is Madigan's directorial debut, and with a budget reportedly at under $20 million, probably closer to $10 million, it's clear that the team squeezed a lot out of limited resources. The action sequences are visually crisp, tightly edited, and clearly made with love for the genre, and everything else, let's just say the dialogue scenes lack the same level of polish. The lighting is generic, staging is flat. It's like all the effort was reserved for the brawls and the conversations were left on autopilot. The real anchor here is Josh Hartnett. There's something undeniably watchable about him. Fresh off of Oppenheimer and The Trap, he brings a grounded charisma to the chaos. He looks like he's enjoying himself, and somehow that makes the whole thing more palatable. He feels like the guy who should have been doing more of these roles way over many, many years. If nothing else, the film reminds audiences that Hartnett still has a presence. Now, is this a movie aiming for cult status? Absolutely. And I mean, it's the lack of marketing, the limited release, the oddball tone, it's all clearly meant to build buzz from the ground up. And maybe it will. Maybe once it hits streaming, it'll find a kind of late-night audience that lives for quirky, bloody, half-baked genre blends, but that's a big maybe. For viewers seeking tight stories, sharp dialogue, and characters with purpose, this might feel like a long hour and 45 minutes. But for those who love B-movie madness, ultraviolence with a smirk, and don't mind a lot of filler in between the fight scenes, there's entertainment here. Somewhere between Boy Kills World and a clearance rack bullet train. Fight or Flight carves a spot for itself. So is it memorable? Sort of. Is it great? Really, but it is trying something wild with little that it has. This one is one of those films that might earn affection over time, not because it nails everything, but because it dares to throw everything in and see what sticks. And that's where I land with Fight or Flight. It's messy, it's muddled, but occasionally fun. Is it worth it? That depends on your taste of mid-air mayhem and missed opportunities. Thanks for going on this film journey with me, and as always, be real.
Now, these people are paid a lot of money for first-class service, and I cannot have them disturbed.